channel, Loving Handcrafts by BMW. This is Brenda. So I'm back for day 2 of the Crafty Advent Calendar. So full of surprises for card makers. That's what the cover says. So let's see what day 2 has to bring. So this was day 1. I've already done that one. So you guys have enjoyed that one. I'm going to use the stick and pick tool. So let's do day 2. Let's see what we have. Now that I know that there's, okay. So now that I know that there's a image, it says, "Thank you so much. Hope your day is magical." So let's see. Let's reveal. Ooh, it's a stamp. Oh, lovely. How lovely. It's a stamp. Ooh. Okay, so this is day 2. Surprise, surprise. It's a stamp. Okay, let's pick this up. So, it's a stamp. I think I got something in mind. Let me see. I know I have some, I said I was going to do some tags. What about this? What about this? This is a nested tree frame. How about doing something in here? Maybe this way? I don't know. Let's see, how big is this? This is a rectangle, so, I'm sorry, this is from Scrapbook. Yep. It's from scrapbook.com, I guess. Or, no, Spellbinders. I can't remember which. Let me see. You usually try to keep that on there. Okay, nested tree. Probably Spellbinders, sorry. Spellbinders. So it's a Spellbinders kind of day. So can this fit in that? Is it barely gonna fit in that frame? Okay. Alright, I'm digging it. I'm digging it. That's a panel to a card. I'm digging it. Let me, since I've never used this before, so this is a surprise for me. So I have nothing planned. Okay. I've used this before. This is really cute. What do I want to do? So, here's my options. Since this is a photopolymer clear stamp, I can stamp with some ink and black ink and heat emboss. Then I can do a little bit of watercoloring with the flowers, and then heat emboss these as well, and put it in this frame. Hopefully it looks like it'll just barely fit. That's the biggest frame that comes with this set. So if I don't want to do it in the stitching, is it this way? Oh, sorry, I had it backwards. If I don't want to do it in the stitching like that, might be able to just do it on this. But I'd like to use this. Alright, so let me play with it. I'm going to go gather some of my supplies from my stash. And, so that's going to be pretty, definitely. So I'm going to do a little watercoloring with some of my distressed inks. That would be really nice. Okay, that's the plan. So here's my thought, and it could change, so bear with me. Do some heat embossing in black ink, and then put some clear embossing powder over the stamped image so that I can watercolor. So I might have to pull out watercolor paper, so that would be step 1. Then just see how big I'm gonna get. Oh wow, I got something underneath my nails. I apologize. And then just see if when I cut this out. Okay, so that's step 1. Then step 2 is figuring out what to do with this layer, because my thought process is pop this up on top of this, because there will be a hole here. Put this in there. pop up the panel or pop up the frame, either one. And then I'll have to decide on colors after that. So I think I'm going to do the stamping on white first on some watercolor paper, since I'm going to be watercoloring. And then I'll figure it out. So let me grab those supplies and come back. I've gathered some supplies for what I'm calling part 1, because I kind of sort of know where I'm going. So I grabbed my Misty, a little tool here. I went and grabbed some Stratford mixed media paper that I cut by 4¼ by 5½. I went through my stash because I knew I'd used this particular set before, and I already have this part cut out, so I think I'm going to use this one. I have it in white and in this acid green, so I'm going to use that. I do have this panel, like right here, do have that cut out, but I don't believe it's in watercolor paper. Now, it feels kind of thin, so it's not my heavy cardstock. So I'm going to go ahead and just use this mixed media paper because I am going to be watercoloring on it. So we'll just put that back in there. So again, here I am using things from my stash. I've got my VersaFine ink, some anti-static powder, and I'm using some Wow Clear Embossing Super Clear, Clear Gloss Superfine powder. And then I have my heat tool. So I'm going to do all of that. And I'm going to put some things to the side. It's making room on my desk because it's quite crowded right now on the other side. And then off in the wings on the other side of my crafting room, I have my big, because I think this is for this. Yeah, okay, that'll work. So I can use my little mini die cutting machine. But first, let me get the stamping done. I think I'm going to use that. Oops, already have that. So let's open the stamp. I think this is Darling. Oh, it's a cute stamp. I'm going to have to get a, this is day 2. Day 2. Alright, and then I think I'm going to go ahead. I think I'm going to wait and stamp these. So I'm going to turn them over on the back of my Misty so I won't lose them. So they'll just be on hanging out there. And I'm going to hang on to this. And then I'm going to hang on to this. So I'm going to hang on to this because at the end of this I'll have all my Advent stuff in one pouch. Alright, I'm going to just kind of season that up. So what I'm going to do, let's see if this is smoother side. Is take this and just kind of figure out where I want it. So it's going to cut off a little bit of this. Right? So yeah, let's use that. So it's going to cut off a little bit of this when I stamp it. But I think I'm going to move it up a little. And thank you so much. Put up here in the corner. See how that looks. Stay straight, please, sir. Sir, stay straight. And then down here at the bottom. I wasn't so doggone set on using this, but I am, so we're gonna use it. Okay. Get that out of there. Misty, misty, misty. Let's take that out. And you never know. You guys are seeing it as I do it. Yeah, I think I can put it in the corner. I think I'm going to just do that just because it'll give me my placing on here. And then I know everything's in frame. Let's see if I can. Got a T-square. Let's see if I can get everything kind of straight. Just so because it looks crooked to me at the top. See, it looks crooked, it's slanted. Oh, crumb. Crumb. Okay, well, maybe I'll just put it in the corner. I'm gonna put it exactly in the corner. Okay. Stop moving. Because you know, I'm fussing with it, y'all. I'm being persnickety, but I want it, at least this, to be straight. Come on, stop moving. There we go. Doesn't have to be perfect, but close enough. There we go. Okay. Let's see. Make sure I pick that up. Okay, great. I can put that in there. Okay, perfect. Alright, so now that I got that sorted, I'll season the stamp. Let's put the white underneath here so you can kind of sort of see. And then I'm just, let's see, using my finger, but I got a little towel. Since this is the first time I'm using this stamp, I'm getting a manufacturer process residue off of here. And what I typically like to do is I like to take the cover off, and I'm going to put this back here, because what I want to do is use the anti-static powder on here, but I don't want it to get on the thing that's in this grippy mat. But I'm going to finish just wiping off the residue so I can get a good impression. I wasn't planning on watercoloring. Now, you don't have to do this. You can do something other. I had a thought that I had some ombre color paper, but I figure, what the heck, this is such a small image, it won't take long to what's going to take longer is to pick out the colors for the mushrooms and stuff, but we'll figure it out. Okay, so let me get the anti-static powder going. Swirl that around. Okay, I'm doing it off to the side so I can shake it off my desk. I'm doing like that, just getting it. Yeah, okay. I like to do that because it's just a pain on this grippy mat, because the residue will just make it.
I'm not quite sure how to help you with that.
Didn't say Alexa. Okay, we're still good. I think we're still good. Wondering, let me make sure that I have enough room to cut it. Yeah, I got plenty of room. Okay, just want to make sure. Okay, so now we're going to take our VersaFine pigment ink for fine detail. Just going to stamp this. Probably going to stamp it more than once. Just give you the heads up. This bothers me, so I'm going to wipe it off. And then I'm going to, well, you can see it. Yeah, one more time. That's going to be so pretty. Now I just used everything in here. Now you can choose not to put the thank you on there and turn it into something else. You don't need to turn that into a thank you card, but you know, it's up to you. Move that out of the way. Alright, so the next step, once I do this, is just put that little, oh, it looks pretty good. Okay, that looks good. Oops. So let's take it out of here. Put it over to the side. Let's get this embossing powder on here. Alright, let's do that. Put a little embossing powder on top. Open it up. Shake it around, make sure I get coverage. Usually this paper is not as thick. And I honestly can't say if I've ever embossed on this before. I don't think I've ever have. If you think you need a little extra, I'm just going to make sure I get good coverage. And I'll just knock it back in. Let's make sure I get that. Looks a little dull. Just want to make sure. Not that I can't redo it, you know. Close that up real good and tight. And then I can pour that back in the thing. I need to reuse it. That's just how I do it. Close that up really good. Let's make sure. I can feel it on here. So I got some embossing powder on this area of the card. And I did not bring my paintbrush. Okay. So let's close that. Here's what I'm going to use next. I'm going to do it kind of sort of. Turn that on. Let that get started for a second. I usually typically do it over here because it's on the glass surface. So that's where I'll do it. It's a little out of camera range, but you'll forgive me. And I guess I can hold it up. Let's see how it does. It's hot. I usually have my again, I've never embossed on this. So I don't know how it's going to turn out. So, you know, little tweezers, that sucker's hot as heck. I'm sure it'll be fine. Yeah, there it goes. There you go. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. There we go. Yay. Yay me. There we go. It's the only way to go. I have a little spot I'm missing. Back and forth. So you don't burn the embossing powder. There we go. Make sure one more time. See how it turns magically. One more. Make sure I get everything. I remember when I first started crafting, I didn't know to make sure everything got turned glossy, and I had half of it embossed and heat embossed and the other half not. Making sure those fine lines get done. Cool. Alright, perfect. So, there we go. Yay! So now I'm going to go grab my palette, and I'm going to need some greens and some browns and maybe just some pinks. I don't need a lot of color. Okay, so let me see what I got. Oops. Just going to put this down on here. It's not super sticky, but at least it'll give me a, or I could use my grip mat and my Misty. This will work. Alright, let me put this up. I'm going to reset and I will be back for part 3. Okay, so I've reset. I'm going to clean off my stamp real quick. So this a little water since I'm watercoloring. A little spray bottle. So, I'll put this back up. Just want to make sure I clean the stamps up before I put my Misty up. So, put my Misty up. Done with that. I've got my little watercolor palette right here. Put that back up over there. Got a little watercolor brush with a little water. Don't know if I'm gonna need it. Got my Altenew paint brushes. What I did not grab was a clean cup of water, but I do have a little tray of water, so I can use one of these as my clean, like one of these little round things right here. Let's see, which one do I normally use? Okay, that should be pretty good. I'm no expert, by the way. I'm just a novice. And I forgot to take a look and see if I could get some, okay. And I grabbed the bigger mat, like, right? Yeah, so, yeah. I got a bigger mat. Oop, my light is off. So, and then I got a little tone. So I'm going to start with what I know first, is I'm going to do those flowers. But I've got my distressed ink. So I'm going to create a little palette over here. I guess I could put it over here. So I don't know. I don't think I'm going to use... I'm going to hang on to those. Do I want to do purple flowers? Do I want to do pink flowers? Do I want to do some red flowers? Maybe I'll do red. Well, it doesn't have to be Christmas, right? So I'm going to do pink, which is what I'm going to do. So I'm going to get, I think I'm going to use, I'm going to put down all three of these pinks. I'll leave it this way. Okay. So the first one is Spun Sugar, which is the lightest. So I'm just going to take the cube and on the palette, I'm just going to smush it down. Okay. So that's Spun Sugar. Then the next is darkest is the Worn Lipstick. And then next is Picked Raspberry. I could do Kitsch Flamingo, but I think that'll be enough. I've just got 3 shades. Okay. Alright. So I'm just going to work on the flowers because I'm going to start in small batches because it's been a while since I've done this. Put that over to the side. So there we go. So I'm just going to wet my flower. And I'm going to pick up this light shade because I wet my brush. Okay, not enough. Pick up a lot more color. There we go. So you can do, like I said, I am no expert, but I'm just going over with the lightest color. Bring it down a little. Hopefully you can see, be still. Okay. And then I'm just picking it up while it's a little, my brush is still damp. Okay, I'll wipe that off. I'm gonna wet my brush. I'm gonna pick up that next color. I'm not gonna really let it dry because it's so light, it should just dry in between. Okay, okay, okay. That's that color. And that's going to be my, so that's my wet one with the stain in there. You can kind of see that. There you go. Bring it in. So that's going to be my dirty water. That's my clean water. And then I'm just kind of stopping my towel up. And then I'm just going to pick up a little bit of this. And then just do that center. Okay, perfect. Let's see what else. And I'll do shades of pink. And then while the brush is still wet, I'll just pull that to the edge. Dirty. And I'm gonna do clean. And I should have really saturated this light pink color, but let's see if I can get it down here. This will be my lighter flower. Cool. And so that's that one. Is there another flower? I'm gonna do that one across here. So from here to here. Whoops. Sorry, I have the silly pen on. And I'm going to dip it back in because I want a little bit more dark concentrated color for that sponge sugar. Okay. Clean that off. And then I'm going to take the next color next to that, dip it back in there. Swirl it in that, so hopefully you can see it. I think you guys can't see my palette, so let me move it around a little. Here's my palette, right? Usually I just work on that. So I've got this color, so I'm gonna go here with the darker one, and I'm gonna leave the centers for last. Then I'm going to do this flower right here. It's tedious, but I think, I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm just going to keep it all one. I'm going to keep it simple for me. Then I'm going to pick my next flower. It's going to be 2. That was the light one, so let me use that. Let me clean that off. And then grab that and I'll stick it in there because that's the darkest color. So how about if I do the darker color here? And all I'm doing is just dabbing it on. There is no roll painting in per se. It's just dabbing the color on. Dirty. A little bit of water. I can see where I missed something right there. Put a little pink on that. Okay. Smooth that dark color back around. Okay. Then I'm gonna wet this up again. Oh, this should be a little. This is still wet. I really like doing this. It's my favorite thing to do. I've never worked on something so tiny though. Oh my goodness. But I guess when it's that tiny, you can't really mess up anything. You know, you could have put a pop of orange or something on this. Ooh, that'd be pretty. Okay, the rest are leaves. Alright, let me... Oh, shoot. Dirty. It's supposed to be dirty. Okay, now that's 2 dirties. And I got 2 cleans. So, let's pick up that color. I'm going to dot the centers real quick. Okay, there's a flower back there. I did not know that. So, while it's still a little on there, dot that flower. Dot those centers of those flowers. Okay. That looks like a flower petal, so not too bad. Looking pretty good. Alright, dirty. So now I'm going to focus in on the greens, and so I'm going to try to pick, because there's a lot of foliage, and then I'm going to worry about the big guy last. I'm a chicken. I'm a chicken. Look. Alright, so let's see, I'm gonna do pine needle, old paper, that's the darkest, and rustic wilderness. Okay, so those are my three. I'm gonna do those. I'm going to try to do them in the frame. So, let's see. Okay, I'm going to make sure I got my, I can't really tell by the, did I get pine needle? Could have did evergreen. Let's see. Old paper is that one. That's more olivey green. Do I have that swatch of rustic wilderness? Nope. So I'm going to have to trust that one. I don't think I swatched that one. And then I have pine needle. Pine needle. Okay. Nope, I didn't swatch this one. We'll see what I get. Alright, so that's one. That was old paper. Oh, that's really... pretty. That's rustic wilderness. That's really deep. That's a pine needle. Let me see if I can find one more. It's got a lot of greenery there. Maybe mold lawn. How about that one? Yeah, mold lawn is that color right there. I'll just put it up here. Okay, yeah. So I got an olive. Okay, yeah, we'll work with those. Alright, so I'm going to do, I'm not sure what these down, I'm not sure what those are. So I'm going to do the leaves down here. I'm going to start in that corner. So dip it in here. I think I'm going to start with this old paper. I'll pick up some more color. Then just do this cluster. Then I can always go back over it with another color, you know? And then since this area is so small, let's see, I have to bring it up. And I don't have my glasses on, so I really gotta bring it up because I can't really see it down there, and I didn't want to get my head in the way. Oh yeah, that's pretty. Oh yeah. Let's clean that out. Should have put my glasses on. Always gonna say, how come you didn't have any glasses? Pick up a little bit of that and drop it on here. There we go. There we go. You gotta have your glasses on. Okay. I'm liking it. So clean. Right there. Then I'm gonna do this. That way I can see it, y'all. I can't really see it down on the bottom. And then I'm gonna go over the top of that leaf. Oh yeah. There we go. Y'all can see it too, huh? Oh, I forgot to do that flower. I'll come back to that. Oops. Stop talking, Brenda. Concentrate. There you go. There's some leaves. Not too bad. I'm going to use that next color. I'm going to leave that on there. Dip it in there. And I'm going to do this leaf here. Oh yeah, see how dark that is? Ooh, that's really dark. Look. That's really, really dark. Let's see. Oh yeah, it's different. It's a different green. I'm pretty sure this would be better if I had it on the ground. Okay. Ooh, that was so concentrated. Whoa. Let's see if I can lift some of that out. It's really, I really like that. Not too bad. That's more like a blue-green. Right, well, while it's still a little left on this brush. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just making it up, y'all. But if you like people who just craft on the fly, I'm your girl. Not too bad. Let's see what happens if I dab on a little olive over that. It didn't really happen. Okay. I know to tone that down. Let's do, I like my mowed lawn. So let's do the rest of those leaves. And then I'll think about the mushrooms. And then maybe I'll do the little pebbles in gray. Oh, let's get that. I really just like the mowed lawn. I think I'm gonna leave that just that one bunch. This turns out pretty good, huh? For someone who doesn't know how to watercolor. I'm just making it up. Because when I had it down here, I couldn't see the leaves. Couldn't see the lines. And I know what Willie's going to say. You didn't have your glasses on, did you? Like, no. See what I told you? It was like, see, I told you to put those glasses on. And you can see a little better. I'm just darkening it up. Just, okay. Did I miss anybody? I can't tell. Oh, up here. There we go. Do, 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 do. All right, good deal. That's done. Let's put that in there. Wipe it off on the thing. All right, now for the mushrooms. Okay. Let's get out some browns. That's all I can do is maybe some browns and some yellows. We'll play it by ear. So I have the browns and the reds. So rusty hinge, brush corduroy, maybe. So what did I say? First we're gonna do rusty hinge. So here's rusty hinge. Walnut stain. Do I want to do vintage photo? Walnut stain. We're gonna just use all of them. And maybe some orange. Okay. I don't know if brown and orange mix. Okay, now I'm not gonna mess it up because I'm afraid if I mess that up, I'm gonna be mad as a hornet. Okay, so we'll go ahead and lay down on this side of the palette. I don't know where I got this palette from. It could have been from Alts New, I think. Okay, it's more ready side. Okay, so that was rusty hinge, walnut stain. Okay, I'm liking that. That's vintage photo. And then that is brush corduroy. Okay. That up a little. Okay, let's try it. I'm gonna start with the itty bitty in the corner. So we're gonna start with, I think I'm gonna start with, oh hell. I'm gonna start with that one. And I'm just holding it up so I can see it. Way my head's not in there. Okay, so I think I'm going to use the darker color for underneath. but I'm going to just do everybody with this one color, at least this side and this side. Oh, that's not too bad. Whoops. Because I really don't know what I'm doing, y'all. And I guess I should have added a little bit of water because I'm using wet on dry. But if you want to do wet on wet, which I'll try next. So I'm going to clean my brush. Then I'm going to take some of this clear, just put some water down, and then I'm going to put it in that. And then you can see how the ink runs. It gives you definitely a nice wash, a color. Okay, not too bad, huh? I'm going to clean my brush again. And then I think that was the darkest color. So I'm going to put the water back on. And then I'm just going to tap it underneath. Right here. And then I'm going to use this dark color. But I'm going to start just smearing it underneath there. Just pushing that color around. And the embossing, the clear embossing powder with the black will just, blah. Then I want to make it darker. So I'm going to go back through and darken up this one. Not too bad, not too bad. Okay, that's what I'm doing on that side. So while I still have a little bit on my brush, just going to hit that right there, hit right that there, hit right that right there, hit those darker areas right here. Then I'm going to clean my brush. And I'm too impatient, but I really should have my heat gun out, let it dry a little. But I'm okay. I'm okay with not letting it dry. I'm going to pick up this color. And I'm just going to see how it looks. Oh, that's more of an orangey red. Okay. Alright, I don't like it. But I'm going to hit it with that brown. Oh, that's not too bad. Oh, that's not too bad. Clean my brush. Keep that in there so you guys can see it. I'm going to hit it with this brown. That's wet. Just spot it on. Okay. I'm going to hit that. Sorry, put it in there. Can't see me. I'm keep taking it away. And I'm going to use this color. Then I'm just going to, oh, I should have did a little wet on here. Little wet stain. Just stain it up. Oh yeah, that's nice. And I'm just pushing that color around. If you have any comments on what I could do different, I'm open to it. Because I really don't know what I'm doing, but I think it's turning out nice. At least it looks nice to me. Alright, I'm going to use, let me wet this up, just this area. I'm going to use this color. And I'm just pushing that color out. Now I might go over this with a little bit of that rusty hinge just in a couple of areas, like give it a little some spotty action with that orange color, just to do that, and we'll see how that goes. Yay! It looks nice. I think I'm gonna go back through and let me go back through And I'm going to hit this flower because you can barely see it with some color. There we go. Oh, that looks lovely. Oh my goodness. This is my favorite thing to do. Oh yeah. I'm going to bring in some of the little pebbles that look like pebbles to me. Let me see if I can do... Oh, I didn't do this one. I must have got these later because I don't have these swatched out. So I'm going to have to do that. I'm going to do some weathered wood. See what that looks like. Okay. Because I really don't know what it looks like because I don't have it swatched out. But we're going to take these little... So I'm going to bring this back up to my eye because I can't see that far. And I'm just going to put color right there. Just going to dot it. Because those look like stones to me. And all I'm doing is we'll put a little color, get a little more concentrated maybe. There we go. Oh my goodness. I don't know what's sticking behind there. So I'm going to pick up some green because I can see that right there. So I'm going to grab some green. I'm going to use that dark color. Okay, I'll clean that off. I can remember, I think it was this one. I'm gonna poke that right there. Yay! There you go, guys. Look at that. Oh my god, that's gonna be so cute! Alright, that's me watercoloring. I'm gonna reset again for the last part, which is cut this out, pop this up on that base, and call it a day. I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm back. So before I go ahead and die cut this off camera, I did hit it with some with my heat tool, my heat gun, so I could kind of dry it before I put it through the die cut. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this on here, kind of how I had it on the thing. So I know it's going to cut off that and it's going to cut off that, so I'm not worried about that. But I want to make sure before I run it through my die cut machine that it looks good. Now you can hit it with some splatter. I'm not a splatter girl. I always end up with big droplets and I get dissatisfied with the droplets. So yeah, I think it's going to be fine on that. I think that'll be fine. Okay. So, this is the sandwich for my Gina K Intricate. I'm going to pause, run it through, and I'll be back. Okay. I really love my Gina K Intricate. Only because, oh, look at that. Isn't that darling? It's so easier. I don't have to remember the sandwiches. And for each, because individual electronic die cutting machines or other, like I have a platinum, but you gotta remember the sandwiches, and I don't have to do that with her, because I learned I started crafting on the Cricut, and let me back up a little, and there, oh my god, isn't that gonna be darling? Look at that, isn't that great? Look at that, that's gonna be gorgeous. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is, and we've had this conversation before, I'm gonna go ahead and put this on some little pop-ups. But again, I didn't bring my thing over here because I've got crafting supplies in every conceivable corner. I didn't bring it over, but that's okay. I'm going to use these little pop-up dots. They work sufficient. Just have to do a lot of them. So I'm hoping you're enjoying this crafting journey with me for 24 days of Advent calendar surprises, twists and turns. I'm pulling out all of my, pulling out everything out of my repertoire. I am trying to use every technique that I've learned, that I've watched on videos from some of my crafting heroes. So I am really trying to bring everything all together here at the end of the year. you know what to do. If you, I'm coming to the end of this one. Like, subscribe, comment, do the thumbs up, do the thing you do on YouTube to help support a girl in her lonely channel, because I appreciate everybody's support. Okay. Yeah, that's too cool for words. Oh my god, that's too cool for words. I like the stitching part. I like this part. Too cool for words. And I can't believe I did it. And on camera, cold turkey, no practice, no prep, just doing it, not thinking about it, trusting the process, trusting myself as a crafter. So yeah, I think that's darling. Because I was nervous about those mushrooms, y'all. I was like, oh my god, if I do this, I'm gonna look like Boo Boo the Fool. Then I'm gonna have to start all over. And I didn't want to mix the brown and yellow, because then I didn't want to make gray, because who can remember the nursery school rhymes on which mixed colors which? So I was like, yeah. So I was like, let me not do that. So it worked out pretty good. Alright, and so like always, I'm going to put a little bit of glue on each of these tabs. One, since this is a Dollar Tree, you know, nothing against Dollar Tree, but sometimes the adhesive could come up and it doesn't stick down. And this also gives me a chance to move it around if it's not centered. Oh, I like that. That's cute. That's too cute. That is too cute, y'all. Oh my god. That is too cute. And I did it. Oh my goodness. That's too cute. That's too cute. And I can put some little charms, some little embellishments on here. So let's just recap. Here's day 1. Here's day 2. We are good to go. I'm going to be back for day 3. So stay tuned. Take care.